know you guys are all wondering how to beat Limit Test 1. I'm going to be helping you guys all out. You're going to want to make sure that you place your Nami down first, get that first upgrade from just collecting her farm down. Then you're going to want to make sure you do not upgrade her next and get your Luffy down. Just because of the fact that the beginning's a bit difficult, I'm going to be just popping up on the screen my entire team. And I will be going through it in just a moment. I just gotta make sure I get like a good area for him. There we go. Nice. Now you're gonna make sure that you have your Erza down to give the buff, and you're gonna upgrade her right there. Now you're gonna go into Sun God transformation. Now you can see here I auto upgraded Nami and Erza. I'm just having leaving there, and my Luffy is not gonna be getting upgraded for quite some time. And that's because you want to make sure that you max out your Nami as soon as possible, for obviously you want money, right? That's a very obvious reasoning. But this game mode is very hard. It requires you to sit here a lot and actually play it. You can't just autoplay or just throw down a couple of units and watch them destroy. You have to be constantly using Luffy basically throughout the entire match, which I know it kind of sucks. But again, this is like a limit testing game mode. Everybody's upset about the fact that everything's so easy. So since this is actually insanely difficult, it makes you have to actually play and just be very smart about where you place units, and it's even harder to tournament. That's the best way I can explain this. And yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to do this. Again, make sure you're just using Luffy and all his abilities. You're basically just going to try to farm up for your double Q ability. If you didn't know already, F ends up resetting all of your attacks, so you want to make sure you use all your attacks and then use F, because then you get your other attacks back. Whenever you use E, you want to go back to the spawn, because that's how it gives you the most percentage. It gives you about, I think, 2% per enemy hit, so that's like an extra 25% there. Double click Q, kill all those enemies. Now they should all be at the front. There's just that one guy lingering behind, which I'm just going to use this for. It should kill him. Yeah. So now that I believe our Nami is maxed, so we can just place down our other Erzas. We can place down our Whitebeard because you want him to get rid of Overshield. You're going to want to place down your Ichigo because he's extremely important for late game. If you do not have Ichigo, you automatically lose. I know it kind of sucks, but that's just how I built this meta around, is basically just Ichigo. Alright. Now you're going to want to make sure that you're constantly going back into Sun God transformation form. I need to put him just about there. You're going to make sure you're auto upgrading your Luffy now, and you want to go to your Sun God transformation. And now you physically can't get out of it until like wave 15 plus. You're not going to be able to kill anything without being in this mode because of the fact of how many units enemies there are, and how much HP they have compared to like what your current upgrades are. It kind of sucks, but you just gotta wait as of right now until you get it. Let's come back over here. Oh shoot, okay, hold up. I didn't end up getting my Erza. I gotta get out of this form. I didn't get my Erza to have the buff. You need to make sure you're using Vanguard for the extra range and cost reduction. These two don't matter, you can just do Duelist. They don't really do enough damage anymore. The whole thing got completely nerfed, so it's not like a crazy worry. Yeah, but you do need to make sure you have that because it saves you a bunch of money in order to actually be able to afford Ichigo. Now, like I said, you're just going to constantly be using Sun God transformation, and you're going to want to be farming, so I'll show you exactly what I do. I use my E ability. You can see I get a bunch there. I got 50%. Then I use my Q ability. I'll use my R ability. I'll back up a bit and then use it, and I'll just kind of like spin around, do some damage. T, and then you'll see when I use my F that everything resets, and you're going to want to use your E right off the bat again, because this is the most important one for farming actual like power percentage. Then you're going to click Q, T, R, and you should have everything you need in order to use your double Q ability. If you don't, you will be extremely close, so just tap a couple times and you can see right here that you end up getting it. Now, because of the fact that we have been constantly upgrading our Luffy, he's getting stronger, we're actually able to do a lot of damage and kill these guys pretty easily. You can actually hop out of this form once I double Q. So I killed everything. I double queued, so he does a lot of damage. You're going to set this on last. You're going to make sure that you have the rest of your Whitebeards down. And now you're kind of just waiting. I want to make sure this guy's on last as well. And you want to make sure that this guy's on last. These are only 3 units you want on last, mostly because of the fact that they're all cones. This guy, once you change him to Sukuna form, which again, I'll show you in the future. But basically, for the sake of time, I'm going to be skipping past a couple of waves. But so I'm going to explain to you what to do. Auto upgrade your Luffy. Once that's done, auto upgrade your Sukuna. Once Sukuna versus Gojo. Once Sukuna and a Gojo get to max level, you're going to want to switch into, you want to use the ability, switch into Sukuna, and you're going to want to use his DOT amplifier one that minuses 30% damage, but if it applies burn, it also applies bleed, and you're going to want to make sure you're using the one that gives 100% critical chance. Alright, now we are going to just basically, we're going to use this one ability just to do some more damage to the Diablo so that there's no worries. Again, sometimes the enemies might actually get past and you're going to have to switch back into Luffy's form and kill them, but worry not, it's not exactly difficult. And yeah, I'm going to be skipping ahead a couple of waves just to save on some time because this is like a 25-minute game mode and I don't have 25 minutes of explaining to do. So again, quick recap, auto upgrade last, auto upgrade last, auto upgrade last, change to Sukuna, auto visibility, and then I will get to you guys as soon as we're there. Okay guys, we're at the final stretch here. You can actually see that some of the enemies are getting past, so you want to hop into your Luffy form. Again, just want to explain, make sure you have Sinister Sanctum on. Binding Vows, you want to have the gain 100% crit rate and over crit. Loses 30% range, and anytime this unit applies burn or bleed, apply the same DOT of the opposite, loses 30% damage. And again, you want to set on last. You're going to come here, go to your Luffy. You can use one of his abilities if you'd like to just kick back some of those enemies, but you're not going to have enough damage being done, so you're going to have to transform. And you're going to want to have your double Q ability ready for as soon as wave 30 hits, because as soon as he loses his overshield, you're going to want to be doing your ability as soon as possible and basically just rinsing and repeating it. You're gonna see here in just 1 second. When you, again, make sure you use E first, go through everything. You can see right there I basically farmed it all. T, Q, R. We're just basically trying to get as much damage as we can done. Then F. And then we can use our T again. We don't want to use our E for a reason. Actually, you know what? We're going to use it. Who cares? Now we have it ready for the next time the boss comes. You can try to hold off the enemies as much as you want, but it doesn't really matter because the amount of damage you're going to be doing to Diablo once he once your Ichigo pops his ability is absolutely insane. Again, you will see here in a second. I'm just trying to hold them off for as long as possible because then that means that Diablo can walk further down the track and there's less worry about him getting past, especially when you end up using your abilities. And when you use Ichigo's ability, it's hard to explain. You'll have to more of less than just see it happen. I'm just constantly using all the abilities, trying to do as much damage as possible. You'll see the 5 billion overshield ends up going away. Now you could basically completely ignore these if you choose to. There's no need to actually be attacking them. You kind of just want to come here and use your double Q on the boss. You can see 200 million damage. Now you want to click back on your Luffy. Use both of his abilities if you do have them. Use Sun God's transformation. Go back into this form. You're going to want to again use your E ability. You can just end up using F and then E again. You'll probably end up getting it maxed out to use your Q ability again, your double Q. We're almost there. 1 second. Diablo's right here. Double Q again. Another like 300 mil-ish damage or so. Come back again. You're basically just constantly farming this. You see that I was able to do the ability within 30 seconds. Back to his form. You're going to want to do E again. This is why I said you don't want to worry about like killing the enemies. You want to worry about killing the boss because it allows you to end up getting all of this extra power percentage. Now if I just click E again right here, should be able to get a bunch. There we go. Q, one hit. And where's the boss? Diablo is probably right around here somewhere. Yep, there we go. Hit him for like another 300 mil or so. Go back. You're going to want to use your Luffy ability again. Again, just use your E ability. Go across. Gonna want to use your Q, T, F. Diablo's right here. He's still at 8 bill HP actually, because I think he has revitalized. I think they're actually like gaining HP back. I don't know. Hold up. I'm actually curious. We'll see here in a second if he gets HP. No. I was just wrong. That's it. Oh, I forgot to change. You want to change this guy to boss. Sorry. You want to change your Ichigo and your Sukuna to boss along with your Luffy. You want everything basically on boss. That's my fault. You're going to end up losing out on a bunch of damage. It's not the end of the world though, because again, once you teleport them back with Ichigo, it's not going to matter. No matter how much damage you think is going to get done. It just means you'll end it a slight bit sooner. It does get harder to end up doing more damage the further you go, because the less actual like enemies there are. Let's try to use our F ability, get everything back, use Q, use our T ability, use our E ability. We're going to try to like target it to hit all these guys and the ones in the back there. Go back over here, use our R ability. Try to do as much damage as we can. Again, we're constantly repulsing them back. You can see we lost the 3 lives, so now our Ichigo is over, or not our Ichigo, our Diablo's over here. Our Ichigo's transformed. Everybody's targeting on the bosses. I'm hitting multiple enemies at once. I'll basically end up killing all of these extremely fast. Just keep hitting, keep hitting. Use our T ability. We're not going to use our E ability basically because of the fact that these guys are all dead. We're not going to get anything out of it. It's just more worth to just do a couple more clicks. Then we're going to do double Q again. You can see we're at 5 billion HP. And we're just rinsing and repeating this until we end up killing him. I know Sage Mode has a more attack range, but that absolutely does not matter whatsoever when it comes to you just trying to kill like a specific boss. So you won't have to worry about that at all. And you won't have to like switch it with pain and everything. It's just a whole debacle. It's just way better to use Luffy. We're going to use our E ability. Munched him a bit. Use our Q ability again. Use our F ability. We have our Q ability back again. We're going to use it. We're going to use our T and R, then our E, because the E doesn't exactly do like a crazy amount of damage as of right now, because of the fact that, again, it's meant for like a mass amount to attack, the eating form. Just going to hit this. Oh my gosh, it's a bit tedious, but I promise you guys this is how you're going to beat it. As you can see, we're already down to 3 bill HP and he hasn't even gone around this corner at all. Again, like I said, if you targeted these on bosses way sooner, he would actually be lower in HP. But again, it's not the end of the world, because this limit test 1 is actually extremely easy. I've actually already finished limit test 1. This is my second time doing it, just because I wasn't going to record something if I didn't know for sure if it was going to work. So this is my second time going at it, so you're not going to see me actually claim the title. But I promise you I do have it, which I'll show you in just 1 second. It's also, in my opinion, kind of easier to run this solo. I don't know why. It's probably just because of the fact that you're able to completely concentrate and you don't really need anybody else for the... I believe, because I did the second one as well, I haven't done the third one yet, but I believe you might not even need extra people for the third one. So you could basically just solo this. Just attack this. Now our Sukuna is going to no longer be attacking him in just a second. So if you didn't know already, which I'm going to get out of the transformation form because he's basically dead anyways. I just want to explain this part. See, my Sukuna no longer attacks, but if you sell him and replace him, he has all his upgrades and everything already, and everything else is selected. So it's no worry whatsoever. Ichigo, again, doesn't really matter. He doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but you're going to want to make sure that you're constantly having your Luffy's ability popped and your Sukuna, you're just moving back and forth. Again, you have like an extra 6 billion damage to play with here, and if you targeted way better like I did for bosses, or like I forgot for bosses way earlier, see, limit test 1 completed, almost a trillion damage, insanely good. But back to what I was saying, if you target it on bosses, you'll have even more damage to play with and even more time to play with, and you'll actually get it done a bit sooner. But you can see here, at best is 24 minutes and 7 seconds. We could probably cut that down to 22 minutes, but again, it is what it is.
Also,
I do hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed getting this title as well. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the second, third, fourth, and hopefully even fifth
absolutely
as soon as possible.